From WUB News, you're listening to The Outlet, where campus meets community. I'm Grace Warner.
And I'm Abby Grisey. Each week on The Outlet, we bring you stories from the Athens and Ohio University communities.
Today on the show, it's Transgender Awareness Week, and two of our reporters will tell you about the university's efforts regarding health care for transgender students.
We'll also tell you about a new initiative whose goal was to monitor voter suppression during the election.
Oftentimes there's a story in long lines or voter suppression or problems with ballots or IDs, etc., that actually disenfranchise a lot of voters.
We'll give you all the details and more coming up right here on The Outlet.
Ohio University was involved in a national effort to monitor and reduce voter suppression as it happened on Election Day. Telling you how student volunteers and the university went about it is Connor Kurek.
It's November 8th, Election Day, and for once, Chipotle doesn't have the longest line in Athens County. Over 50 students and residents are lined up outside the local Board of Elections, and over 200 are lined up throughout the fourth floor of Baker Center, all the way onto the sidewalk outside. For such a large group, it's unusually quiet. It's about to rain, but that's not stopping voters from casting their ballots. But in other cases, people aren't voting. Some voters go to the polls and then end up leaving without ever casting a ballot because of issues like long lines. To find solutions, Electionland is using a team of college students to monitor voting issues from their laptop screens in OU's Scripps Hall. They're using social media to discover, analyze, and verify places where voters are having problems. Scripps Associate Professor Dr. Michelle Ferrier is directing the effort.
So typically when we're monitoring elections, we're monitoring it to find out what the result is. However, oftentimes there's a story in long lines or voter suppression or problems with ballots or IDs, etc., that actually disenfranchise a lot of voters.
This was a national effort that was carried out at the local level. Electionland was able to monitor what happened in real time. That way, they could get tips back to local reporters who could then go to the scene and report on those stories while there was still time to vote.
It is a logistical challenge, and as I said, this is a brand new effort that's never happened before, and so we've all got our fingers crossed because a lot of the systems that we've put in place are brand new, including some of the technology tools that we'll be using to report these incidences as they happen.
Electionland is a collaboration led by ProPublica, a nonprofit newsroom based in New York City. The City University of New York's Graduate School of Journalism served as the nerve center for the project. Ohio University was assigned to monitor Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin on Election Day. It was one of 10 participating schools that collaborated to funnel their data into the main newsroom at CUNY, where they would then send the information to local reporters. Ferrier said their goal was to diminish, to the extent possible, the effects of voter suppression on the election.
At the local level, we have limited ability of reporters. They can't be at every polling location. So what we have become is, in essence, the eyes and ears of reporters all over the country.
This whole effort was carried out by Ferrier and 4 to 5 students at a time, sitting in a Scripps computer lab with over 10 social media monitoring tools at their disposal. On the national level, over 500 students participated. At OU, over 50 were involved in the project. They came into the Smart Lab all day in shifts from 6:30 a.m. to around midnight. Students used hashtags, keywords, names, and locations to discover polls where issues came up. To find these problems, the team monitored Twitter with TweetDeck, Facebook with Facebook Signals, Instagram with reverse image tools, Google Trends, and Google Poll. Among others, they used tools like Dataminer, Spokeo.com, and Google Maps to verify incidents, people, and places.
Students were very surprised at how quickly you can take an image that has no location data set on it and find out, is it original, where is it from, And using Google Street View, we went right down to the street level, looked around at the buildings and said, yep, this is the polling place at this location, with just a few visual cues from an image. And that really startled the students into really thinking deeply about what goes up on the web and how people, with just a few clicks, can find out a lot of information about you, your identity, as well as the information that you post online.
So, in other words, pictures you post on places like Instagram and Twitter hold a lot more information than you might think. Member of the Electionland team, senior journalism student Austin LaFonte was surprised by that. He was one of few upperclassmen among a majority of freshmen.
I originally thought, we can just go off location and that'll be it. But some of the stuff we're using is pretty surprising, just how we can verify information like who these people are and if they're quote unquote real, and what maybe their intentions are whenever they're posting something. So I never knew it went this deep.
Our democratic process isn't perfect, so it is understandable that citizens would face issues voting. But teams like Electionland strive to solve those problems and to improve our system. They ensure that all willing voices are given the chance to speak, and that the eyes and ears of reporters remain strong and secure. For The Outlet, I'm Connor Kurek.
Okay. That way they'll be, or the post that people can eat it up.